So, where do you want to start?
Eh, Rampage.
Okay, we'll start at Rampage. So, Rampage starts off with John Moxley versus Sammy Guevara.
It was an okay match, like predictable, whatever. Only like I told you when we was watching it, Nat didn't ask you who you think was gonna win because like that was obvious. I asked you whether that John Moxley was gonna bleed.
Yes, she did. And he wound up bleeding from the ear,
Yeah,
which is very, is weird.
yeah, because it took a minute to figure out where the fuck he was bleeding from.
Yes, it did. But like, I didn't, I didn't like this match. Whatever, I didn't like it.
Yeah, like I said, it was all right. Whatever.
Yeah. So Moxley did the curb stomp in this, and which is like I kind of go, okay, well, you two are just like the same person because Seth did the Death Rider on Monday, so it's like, oh, well, you two are close. And then like they asked Seth about, are you and the Shield still close? And he's like, no, we're none of us are close. Like we have the bond of being in the Shield, but we're not close. Like we barely even talk. And it's like, that's bullshit, dude. That is
100%.
fucking that is so fucking bullshit. I don't know if he was trying to just like keep the secrets or something, but like, dude, that's complete bullshit. We know it's complete bullshit.
Yeah.
So after that, Moxley beats fucking Sammy Guevara, and then Stupid Brain Hangman Page comes out and just starts beating the shit out of Moxley. And security tries to pull them apart, but Hangman buckshots in the ring and clothesline security because, stupid brain.
That was hilarious as shit to me.
Yes. And then they took and separated both of them. So, yeah, that's a thing. So then we have Saraya. And Saraya says, listen, I'm going to be watching that women's title match very, very closely. And as far as my partner goes, we have a plethora of women here for me to choose from. And so that delves into the rumor of Mercedes Moné appearing on AEW. So it's like she said there's a plethora of women there, which was implying that the person is already there.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, well, like we'll see how that plays out. But as far as Mercedes Monet, there's a lot going on with her and what was wrote by Dave Meltzer in the Wrestling Observer newsletter. And it some of it immediately shocked people, and then the other parts of it fucking were nothing. And it starts to lead everybody to these questions because in the newsletter, previous, he had reported different things about Mercedes Monet. He's reported a bunch of different things because he's reported that she was still under contract. WWE was still working things out. This was as far back as a couple of weeks ago. Now he's reporting as of the summertime, she was officially done with WWE and got her full release. So that's like, okay, but you just reported a couple weeks ago that she's still under contract and they're trying to work out the last little bits of the deal so she can come back. And it's like, okay, so why did you say this here? So he says that she's going to be going to New Japan. She's going to be contracted under New Japan and she's going to wrestle some dates in Stardom. And it's like, okay, all right, that seems logical. But then he puts out the biggest reason that she left was because she wasn't making as much money as Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch. And it's like, okay, that's plausible. That's very plausible. She's not making as much money as Becky or Charlotte because they don't treat her like that. And this came from him. It said that she, as in Mercedes, was looked at to be over the hill, and they couldn't do much with her in WWE, so they decided to cut their losses. They said also she's very problematic backstage, so they decided to get rid of her and just say, fuck it, you know what? You're not worth the money, you're not worth the time. Now, that has everybody in an uproar because they're all angry about all of this. I smell something completely wrong. I know that people are like, oh, you're just crazy, you're brain dead, you're delusional. No, I smell like there's something wrong. There's something off here because I've went around and I've looked at like how the crew they're like, fuck it, we're done, fuck WWE, blah blah blah. They're on that side. Some wrestling fans are like, fuck her, she deserves to go, she ain't shit. Other ones is like, hey, you know what? I welcome her doing some other stuff. But then there's a certain group of people who are like me, and they're like, there's something wrong. There's something wrong. We have seen red flags in this whole entire situation. Something's wrong.
Yeah.
And I talked to somebody earlier today, and they asked me specifically, they said, does this sound right? And I said, I mean, it kind of like a little bit of it, but like there's some stuff that's in it. And the person was like, thank you very much. Because everybody that I've been asking has been saying, no, this is dead concrete. Right. And they're like, this is wrong. This is wrong. And this is wrong. Something is off about this. And I said, yeah, it is. But I can't put my finger on it. And I really don't understand what it is. I can't put my finger on it. Now, about Naomi, they said Naomi can't come back. They're like, either you leave or you do something else. But the only way we want you back is if you come back with Sasha. I was like, what? Like, that doesn't make any sense. That makes no sense. Her husband is right there. That doesn't make any sense. So it's like, all right, that's something else Meltzer reported. Then he reported something that was already confirmed to me by another source. Because I alluded to it yesterday, but somebody from I know had said, hey, listen, Kairi Sane is going to be in Royal Rumble. So do with that as you will. So Meltzer reported that and said she's in a Rumble. And that's the reason she has the IWGP Women's Championship. Now, here's the thing. These things don't add up when you're looking at Mercedes Moné because you're like, okay, yeah, like they have this. So wait, she's going to be in a Rumble? Okay, well, that makes no sense. Like, she's going to be facing Mercedes eventually. So why would she show up in the Royal Rumble? It's like, okay, whatever. That doesn't make any sense. Then Julia today goes, yeah, I want to go abroad. I want to wrestle in America because there's a lot of people in America that haven't seen me. I can't wait to wrestle in America. And it's like, okay, like any other time I would have been like, all right, yeah, all right, sure. But right now it's the point where it's like things are opening and it's like, that doesn't sound right. Also, Kadani, the person in charge, Bushiroad, running New Japan and Stardom, he loves WWE. And he says he would love for WWE to work with Stardom and New Japan. And it's like, what? All these things are not adding up. Like, you hear these things out of my mouth that I'm saying that I'm not making up. It's actually true things. And you're going, well, something's not adding up with this whole Mercedes thing. Like, I feel like something's not adding up. In this, the Saraya thing was another red herring that makes me go, there's something wrong here. Because if Saraya would have said, I know somebody from somewhere, and like she put it as a quotation of, I know somebody and I'm going to bring them here to fight you guys, it would have been like, there it is. That's a Mercedes thing. When she said, we have a plethora of talent here for me to choose from, was saying it's somebody here. You just don't know who I'm going to choose. So that's where it's like, okay, well, that shuts down the AEW room. That's shut down. It's so much it's so much going on with this situation that I can't put my finger on it. But like I said, by the time the Royal Rumble rolls around, we will have a better answer of what the hell is going on, because this is very, very interesting.
Very interesting.
So back to Rampage, we have FTR in the ring. They have a full interview, and Dax tells a story about his daughter after final battle, and he says, "My daughter's talking to me, and she says they like you." And he's like, "Yeah, they kind of do." And she said, "Why?" He couldn't give her an answer to why.
He was fucked up about it. Like, damn, like what the hell?
Yes, that was very funny.
Yeah.
So then they said they're going to beat the living shit out of the ass boys. So then we get Jade Cargill. And Jade Cargill is still talking about Bow Wow and his situation, but she addresses the red velvet thing that we brought up that people weren't paying attention to. Red Velvet keeps having an attitude with Jade Cargill.
And this time
So
I noticed it. Like he did it again this time.
yes, so now this is like playing into that story. Jade and Red Velvet are going to have a match, and it's going to be a problem. So
Problem?
yes, so then we have Jamie Hayter. I mean, Jamie Hayter was out there. That's who I was looking at. But Jamie and Britt. Britt has a match against Sky Blue, friend of the show. And it was a decent match. They should have gave Sky a little bit more offense, but it was a decent match. Britt beats Sky, and then all of a sudden, Hikaru Shida shows up. And she runs off Britt and just has a face to face with Jamie. And it's like, all right, you're not gonna hit her. Like, you ran off Britt and you're just gonna have a face to face with Jamie. Okay.
Like that's it.
Yeah. So then we had an interview with Preston Vance. 10 used to be.
Yeah.
And they asked him, why? Why did you do this? He said, I'm doing this because Mr. Brody Lee believed in me and I need to reach my full potential, and I couldn't do it with them. I have a new family now. And JR asked him, why did you turn your back on 10? And he
Negative
just said,
one.
-1, whatever the fuck it is. -1. And he goes, listen, a kid needs to grow up. He's like, okay, yeah, well, all right. It and Renegade was offended by that.
And I'm not normally offended by anything, but it's like, what the fuck? Like, no. No. One, you're using the kid, like that's offensive enough, but you're basically like using Brody Lee's name in vain, you know? Like I don't know if I'm using that term right. Like I don't know how to get my words right, but I was offended. Like, no.
But like wrestling uses dead people in gimmicks all the time, and then people get mad. But like, I've seen nothing but praise about this one. So I mean, maybe it's because people pick their battles and what they get offended by or whatever. But
I
you
hate
know,
it.
I know,
Like, it don't matter what company, don't matter what the wrestler, like I always hate it.
I know. So then we had Wardlow versus Exodus Prime. And Wardlow beats Exodus Prime with like 4 power bombs. And then he calls out Joe. And Joe gets on the mic and does the windy thing, but with Wardlow. And he tells Wardlow, I'm not wrestling in this city. This city is full of shit. I'm going to wrestle you in Denver, Colorado in 2 weeks. I'll see you there. I'm like, okay. But the weird part about it?
What?
I I think it's on a Rampage or is it on Dynamite?
It sounded like it was a Rampage to me.
That's what I thought too. It sounded like a fucking Rampage, but it's fine. So then we get the main event: Kip Sabian, Trent Seven, Butcher and Blade versus the Best Friends and Dustin. They're getting ready to do the thing, and Mark, like the bad guys do all the talking, and then Mark's about to say, "I think we had enough talking," and Dustin's like, "Hey, we didn't get to say anything." And they just talk, they just ramble. They literally do nothing but ramble, and then they just go to the fucking match. Because the funny part was like Butcher made a like he tried to make a threatening thing, was like, I did a 1-800 see you later or some shit. And fucking Chuck Taylor was like, dude, that's not a he's like, that's not enough numbers. And Trent Beretta comes right behind him and says, yeah, that's a lot of letters to me. Like, what? Like, you know, letters go into numbers on a phone. What are you talking about? They are so fucking silly.
You
They're
don't
so
know.
silly. Like, I love them, and like, this has to be a permanent thing. It can never not be a thing.
Yeah.
So we get to the match. The match is happening. Then all of a sudden, the girls get in the ring, and Orange Cassidy does Eddie Guerrero spot, and then Danhausen does the Eddie Guerrero spot because Penelope Ford shows up and does the same thing to him, and the ref kicks both of them out. And you know the good guys wind up winning, but that's all that happened.
Yeah. Like the the match was okay. Like I like that spot. Like I never saw an Eddie Guerrero like spot done like that.
I have. It, it's like I don't know how to explain it, but like Orange Cassidy is like made for Rampage, and like think like him being on Rampage is like the best option for everything, especially just the interactions with Mark Henry. That's the best options for the show.
It is the only odd part though. He's supposed to be like a champion, so like you would think he would like get better, but it's this is perfect.
Yeah, and like the funny part about it is like the rest of the Rampage can be like completely shit, complete shit. He comes on and has an interaction with Mark Henry, it makes me laugh,
Yes,
and that just brightens, that just makes it worth it. Like, all right, it's worth like going through all this bullshit. Like, I get it. All right,
totally fine with that.
yes. So that was Rampage. Now we get to SmackDown. And SmackDown happens, and the Usos pull up with Samuel Zayn. And Samuel Zayn has his hair in a ponytail, just like the Usos in Roman. Haha.
Did he trim his beard a little bit too? I think like he like
Yes,
cut it down a little bit.
yes, he did. So they come into the building, and Jay says, tonight is your night. It's like, okay, cool. Like I kind of figured it's like it's not his night, but like whatever. So we start off with the women's tag team title match: Liv Morgan and Tegan Knox versus Damn It Control. So the match is going, and at one point, like Dakota Kai sets Liv up because Dakota Kai goes under the ring and starts fishing with stuff, and Liv instinctually just goes under the ring and grabs a kendo stick. She's like, ah, and she just gets ready to fuck people up. And Tegan's like, dude, stop. We're in a title match. Chill, chill. Because like everybody knows the rule that you could get disqualified in a tag team match. It's not just something that just happen overnight, right? We all know this is a rule. So that's why you don't do it. Okay. Cool. We all established that.
It's not a triple threat or a fucking like a four-way.
Yeah. So the match is going, and then like Tegan takes out Bailey. She throws Bailey over the thing, and then Tegan gets attacked by a woman. Now, in the commentary later on, they say it's Xia Li. Xia Li did this. Now, I'm not going to be that guy, but there's a very, very good reason I know that that's not Xylee because that person, they showed that person running away, all hooded up and messed up. And you can see that that person is a short woman and that person is a thick woman. And the first person that popped in my mind was that's Deonna Purrazzo. That's
Okay.
exactly who I thought it was, Deonna Purrazzo. But they was like, no, it's Xia Li. I'm like, that's Deonna Purrazzo. There's no way that you're telling me that that woman was Xia Li. Uh-uh. Uh-uh. That was Deonna Purrazzo.
Like by your description that you just gave, like the first like name that popped in my head was
Mm-hmm.
Wendy Chill.
I mean, it could be Wendy Chu, but like I doubt it because I doubt that they would change up her gimmick because I think they like that gimmick a lot.
Yeah.
But and like I said, I think it's Deonna Purrazzo. They went on screen and said it's Xia Li, which pissed me off because like now it's gonna be like, oh my god, it's Xia Li. And I hope that it's a red herring because like next week there's a gauntlet match and it's a red herring and people are like, oh my god, like Xia Li, why did you do that? Even though she's a heel, like they go to kick her ass, but it's not her. So
Watch
yeah,
the
and like
person who did it actually attack Xia Li.
that would be awesome. So then we have a backstage thing with the Usos, and they're talking to Sami. They tell Sami to go do something. Sami goes do it, and Jimmy is like, yeah, tonight they gonna make him a real Us, no more honorary. And Jimmy's like, yo, dog, like I don't know if Roman wants to do that. You know the whole shit with Kevin. Like I don't know if you want to do that. And he's like, no, 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 no. Roman's gonna do this, man. Trust me. And it's so weird that Jay is on Jimmy's side.
Yeah, I noticed that
And
too.
I mean, not Jimmy's side, on Sammy's side. That's what I meant to say.
Uh,
So Jimmy is like more hesitant. He was like, yo, don't get his hopes up, man. Cause like, I don't want him to get his heart broke. And it's like, well, like you see, like things are like slowly turning, and it's like, what the fuck is going on here?
mm-hmm.
So then we have a Uncle Howdy thing. He kidnapped LA Knight. He kidnapped LA Knight, and now LA Knight is free, and he's coming down to the ring. So LA Knight comes down to the ring, and he said, "Let me talk to you." And he said, like he literally tells Bray, he's like, "Listen, I know it's you. Stop fucking around. Let's do this. Come out here so I can shut you the fuck up. I know it's you." So Bray comes out there and Bray's like, listen, man. He's like, it's not what you think, man. It's not. Trust me. So LA Knight is like, nah, fuck that. He beats the shit out of him. Then all of a sudden, flickers on the screen, and then Uncle Howdy shows up while Bray Wyatt is still in the ring. And LA Knight's kind of confused. And Bray looks a little confused too. I'm like, what the fuck is happening? Why is Bray confused?
Mind you, when he says that he showed up, he actually showed up in the arena, not on the Titantron like normal.
Yes. It was very weird. It's like, okay.
They got the perfect person too, like had the same build as Bray.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciated that.
Yeah, they took real considerations for this.
Yeah.
So then we have a banger. And the banger is I mean not Osprey, Ricochet
Wow.
versus Volter. So in the match, I I give I give Michael Cole a ton of praise for this because Michael Cole goes, Ricochet is quick as a puma.
I get it. I get it.
And I just stopped like, why'd you say that? And I know people are like, what you mean? Like, quick as a puma? Ricochet used to be Prince Puma in Lucha Underground.
Yep.
So they had a banger match. Ricochet lost. Walter won. And then Imperial came out to celebrate and they beat the shit out of Ricochet. And then Braun Strowman bread comes and helps Ricochet. Why do they have to be friends, huh? That's stupid.
They're bald.
Yes, that I guess that's it. So then Roman comes in. Roman is solo and Paul Heyman and Jimmy comes in and he says, "Yo, you gonna make Sami an honorary Uso? You gonna drop that honorary tonight?" And Roman's like, he's like, I didn't know if you was gonna do it because you know he's still friends with Kevin and shit. But I mean, if you drop that, then that's what's up. And Roman's face changed. Like, the fuck is right? He still is friends with Kevin. So he looks over at the wise man. He says, "Wise man, call Pierce." So that was like, I don't know where like this whole thing comes from, but like when Sammy speaks, like then you find out why it came from this. But Pierce comes in and Roman says, in 2 weeks, me, Sammy versus Kevin Owens and whoever he could pick for a partner. He's like, book it. And he goes, well, okay, yeah, sure, all right, sure. I was like, oh, all right, that's a thing.
It was weird.
It was it was weird, but it was funny.
Yeah.
So then we had the triple threat tag team match, and it was Legado del Fantasma versus Hit Row versus the Viking Raiders. And whoever wins this match will get a tag team title shot next week against the Usos.
They just added
Well,
that tonight. Like it was a fucking what you call it, like a grudge match. They just added that.
yes. Well, Hit Row wins. And now they're number one contenders. And next week, they're going to be facing the Usos.
Obviously.
Then we get a backstage thing. Raquel Rodriguez, and she's got ice on her arm. And they're like, next week you're gonna be in a gauntlet. Haha, you ready for the gauntlet? And she's like, yeah, I'm gonna be ready for the gauntlet because I'm gonna win and I'm gonna challenge Ronda Rousey. And it's like, no shit, because we know how this works. That's the Royal Rumble match. We know. Got it. So as she's saying that, she gets attacked by Ronda and Shayna. And it's like, yeah, we know how this works, dude. Like we know it's coming. So like nobody is shocked, like, oh my god, that happened. So yeah, that was a thing. So then we get the main event, Jey Uso with Jimmy Uso and Roman and Solo and Sammy. So
And
it
Paul.
starts it starts off with Roman and Roman's talking and he like I feel like he was going to do it until Sammy interrupted him because Sammy interrupted him and he wanted to thank him for everything. And Roman says that they have a match with Kevin Owens. And Sammy's like, yeah, Kevin doesn't have any other friends except me. And everybody stops and looks at Sammy. And they look at him. He's like, no, no, no. I mean, we used to be friends. Like, we're not friends anymore. We were friends, but like, I don't think he has any friends. He's like, yeah, like I don't know who he could get. And then all of a sudden, there was a blank screen popped up, and I don't know why everybody started cheering. It was like I couldn't see nothing but a wall. Like I was very confused. Like everybody started cheering this wall that just magically popped up. It was weird.
You couldn't see it?
No, I couldn't see it. So what we're saying is John Cena popped up and John Cena said he's going to be Kevin Owens' partner because Kevin Owens called him and said, yo, you haven't had a match all 2022. How about you have one match with me as my tag partner? And that's how it went down. So yeah, Cena and Kevin versus Roman and Sammy.
That's gonna be a good one.
It's gonna be all right. is gonna be alright. So yeah, that's it. That's it. That's wrestling. So any last words, or do you have more news, or do I have more news?
Do
Which
you?
one? Do do you have anything? Yeah.
No, I see you, John. That's all. Do you have any news? I see you, John.
Okay.